Hey Internet, Acid Jane here, and welcome to another speed build and also Happy New Year Internet. I'm probably going to post this video a few days after the new year, but it is New Year's Day as I'm recording this, so yeah, welcome to 2019. I am going to talk more about the new year and my plans for the new year in just a few minutes, but first let me tell you a little bit about this build. So as you can see from the title of this video, today I am building a mid-century suburban. By the way, I've got to start coming up with more creative names for my houses because I am sure that this is not the only mid-century suburban that I'm going to build, and what am I going to call the next one, right? But anyway, if you want to download this build, it is available on the gallery. My origin ID is AcidJaneYT. This build is a really nice family home. So it's only 2 bedrooms. It's 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, which is a little bit small for a family home. It would have to be a small family that lived here. Although there is one room that you could convert into another bedroom, but it might look kind of weird. But anyway, so the reason why this is still a good family home is because there are so many family activities that you could do in this home. So you can see that I've got a little carport to the right of the house, and in that carport I end up putting a basketball hoop over so they could shoot hoops together. The patio area ends up being pretty big and spacious. There's a hot tub, there's a little place where they could eat, there's still some yard space left over, so there are a lot of activities that they could do out there. There's a little like wood shed that has the craftsman's table, and there's also this adorable sunken level family room. So yeah, if you are looking for a great home that is good for a family, a small family that is, I really recommend downloading this one. I played a lot with it in my game actually, and it works well. It's all been play tested, and yeah, it makes me smile because it's so cute. All right, that's enough of tooting my own horn. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the style of the build. So the style is mid-century modern, and I don't know a whole lot about architecture and architectural styles, but there seem to be a few hallmarks of mid-century modern that I tried to include in this build. So one of the main things that you see in a lot of mid-century modern builds are these, oh gosh, I can't even think of the name for them now, the sloped roofs. So the roof on this house, I think I use only those sloped roofs. And by the sloped roofs, I mean not the gabled roofs and not the hipped roofs and not the half-hipped roofs, the other roof that we have available in The Sims 4. That's the one that I used. And in addition to those sloped roofs, I also included some roofs that consisted of half walls of different heights, because that seems to be another thing that's pretty common in mid-century modern builds. There tend to be a lot of flat roofs with that slightly project above the roof line, if that makes any sense. I also tried to include a mix of textures on the build. So a lot of mid-century modern homes seem to have either a brick or a stone texture on a part of the house that sticks out a bit. So that's why I included that stone front that you see on the very, very front of the house. That wall texture, by the way, is the brick that we got with Get Famous, and I love it. I love it so much. I wish it had more swatches, but I really, 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 really love it a lot. I don't know why. It just really appeals to me. What else is mid-century modern about this build? I guess the fact that this is more of a ranch house, because I think mid-century modern was most popular in the West and in the Southwest. So this is the kind of home that you would see in like Tempe, Arizona, or in Southern California, which is also why I decided to build it in Oasis Springs. By the way, mid-century modern style, in case you don't already know, is the style of houses that was really popular in like the 50s and the 60s. I think it actually spanned a little bit broader than that. I think it might have started a bit in the 1930s after Art Deco was fading out a little, or at least becoming more streamlined, and it went on through, I think, the late 60s, where you saw this style of houses being very popular. I don't really know what style became popular after that in the 70s and in the 80s. I'm not sure. I think that's when like some of the Greek revival might have started. Maybe. I'm gonna have to read up on that. But anyway, mid-century modern style was the style that was popular in like the 1950s and 1960s, or the mid-century. So you can see now that I am working on the backyard and also on the landscaping. I did something a little bit different than I usually do for the landscaping, which I'm very proud of myself of. I first of all outlined these garden beds using this very, very shallow white fence that we have. And then I filled them up with these rows of bulbous bushes and also these yellow flowers. I guess that's not that creative, but it's something slightly different from what I normally do, so I was proud of myself for branching out a bit. I also use a lot of perfect patio stuff in this build because with all of the sales that have been going on Origin lately, I got a bunch of new stuff, including perfect patio stuff, which I use a lot in the backyard. And don't hate me for this, my first pet stuff, which I do use some of on the inside. And that's the thing about my first pet stuff is that, you know, the stuff that we get with it is cute. It's just the fact that it was a DLC for another DLC is just so icky, and I knew I wouldn't pay full price for that, and I considered not buying it at all, but honestly it had this one rug that I really wanted, and it's been almost 9 months since it came out, and I've protested for 9 months, and then I finally gave in, which I kind of hate myself for, but yeah, I do use a few things from the pack, namely the rug on the interior of the build, but it just sucks that even though I own it, I still feel so bad about using it. Like, why'd you gotta play me like that, EA? Why'd you gotta do that to me? Why you gotta do me wrong like that? What else did I buy during the Origin sales? I also bought cool kitchen stuff and backyard stuff. Did I buy backyard stuff? I'm not sure. I don't think I did. There are two stuff packs that I don't own. One is luxury party stuff, and the other may be backyard stuff. I'm not sure. I don't know when I am ever going to buy luxury party stuff because that was the first stuff pack that came out for The Sims 4. And honestly, it just sucks. There's like nothing in it at all. I'll probably just end up buying it just to complete my collection because once I buy that and the other stuff pack, which I think is backyard stuff. And I've actually heard a lot of good things about backyard stuff, so I will buy that one eventually, but I'll probably only get luxury party stuff in the end just to complete my collection for the satisfaction of doing that. But anyway, so you can see now that I am starting to work on the interior of this build. I'm working on the main living space, which consists of a formal living space and also a dining room, a small dining room, and it's pretty casual. I use a lot of stuff from Get Famous in this living dining space, and I just absolutely love these mid-century modern items, although I seem to be cursed regarding these mid-century modern items because I have tried to build so many mid-century modern builds since Get Famous came out, and they have all been failures, and I don't know why, and I think part of it is because I just have a hard time mixing and matching the swatches, and also because I've tried to do several base game plus Get Famous builds, but I think because I've been having trouble mixing and matching the swatches of the base game furniture that it just keeps ending up being a disaster. So I will release one of those eventually, but it is harder than it looks, at least for me. But yeah, I use a lot of Get Famous items in this main living space. I also throw in a few bowling night items because those are also in the mid-century modern style, and so they go perfectly with the mid-century modern Get Famous items. What else do I use in this living room? I mean, those are mainly the items. I also include that cute bowling night stuff bowling trophy case, which is an item that I never use, so I was pleased that I finally got to use it in a build. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about the build for a little bit and talk a little bit more about the new year, and yeah, maybe I'll talk a little bit about the old year, about 2018 and how that went for me first. 2018 was overall a pretty good year for me. I finished up all of my coursework at school, I moved across the country, I moved in with my boyfriend, which is something that I've been wanting to do for literally years. I got a new job. Actually, I got a couple new jobs, both of which I really like and that I think are gonna have good opportunities for advancement in the future. I actually got promoted at one of those jobs. I don't think I told you guys that yet, But yeah, the last shift that I worked there before I went on break for a little while, they told me that they wanted to promote me. So yeah, that's some good news. It isn't much of a pay bump, but I'll be working full time and I'll also get benefits. So it's something also that I think is going to give me skills that I could take with me if I choose to move on to another job sometime in the future. So yeah, 2018 was overall a pretty good year for me, and I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do in 2019 and what I can do to make 2019 great. And I do have some ideas. So I have a few personal goals that I want to meet in 2019. Namely, I just want to make more friends and get out of the house more often, because I'm a pretty big homebody and my boyfriend's going to be leaving for work for a few months out of the year, and I know I'm just going to be really lonely if I'm not good about making friends and about getting myself out there. So that's my main personal goal for myself, is to make more friends, because I don't have that many. That sounds so sad, but it's hard to make friends when you're older and when you're no longer in school, because where do you meet people? You meet your coworkers, but you don't always want to hang out with your coworkers after you spent all day working with them. But I am going to make more friends with my coworkers because I do really like them a lot, but I've got to find a way to meet other people. And I think that my second personal goal for 2019 might actually help me with that. And that second personal goal is to see more plays and see more musicals. My goal actually is to go see a play or go see a musical at least once a month in 2019. I think that's about it for my personal goals. My goals for the channel. I do have a lot of goals for the channel, and the first one is that I want to upload more. I would love it if I could stick to an upload schedule, but the thing is that I have tried to stick to an upload schedule in the past and I have just failed every single time. I've failed when I've announced a schedule and had the community to keep me accountable. I still failed then. I've also failed when I just announced a private schedule to myself, but I don't know, I just somehow, for some reason, can't seem to ever stick to it. And then when I realize that I'm failing, I start to get really anxious, and it makes me just not want to post, and then I go for long periods without posting at all. So no schedule for me in 2019, no upload schedule for me, but I am going to do some things that maybe make it possible for me to have an upload schedule in 2020. I feel like I've got to train myself to prepare myself for that. And so there are a couple things that I want to do to help me upload more and also help me get used to sticking to more of a schedule. So I want to be better about planning ahead for things like Christmas and Halloween and the other holidays that I can make holiday builds for throughout the year. I also want to come up with more themed series. So for instance, a long while back, I did a sort of Bates Motel week. I did a series of 3 Bates Motel related uploads, and I uploaded them one after the other. So I'd like to do more stuff like that. And there's so much awesome TV content that is coming out in 2019, including the final season of Game of Thrones, which I am already planning right now because those builds that I'm going to do for that are going to be massive. And also the new season of Stranger Things is coming out on July 4th. I think they actually announced that yesterday, that the 3rd season is going to be dropping on July 4th. And there's a ton of other great content that I think that I can plan ahead for, and that doing that planning ahead will help me eventually be better about actually sticking to a schedule, because I think that, planning ahead is something that I'm gonna need to do a lot if I'm going to stick to an upload schedule in 2020. I have another channel goal that I want to talk to you guys about here in just a minute, but before I do, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the build. So right now I'm working on the sunken family room, and I just think it's so cute. I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out what wall texture I wanted to put on here, but I just think that this room is super cozy and cute and also realistic, because I feel like I've seen a ton of rooms like that IRL. And yeah, I'm glad that I included that in this one. After the family room, I work on the parents' room for a while, and then I work on the kids' bedroom. I imagine that the kid is like a preteen girl. I feel like that is the main kid who I build for in my builds. I gotta branch out a little and start building rooms for other people than preteen girls. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about the build before the best parts of it passed us by. But let me talk more about my goals for my channel in 2019. So the other goal that I have in mind is something that's more related to non-Sims content. So I never intended for my channel to be a Sims only channel. I know it's a really weird mix of like Sims 4 speed builds and an occasional Let's Play for The Sims 4, and then also just like random other games. But I don't know. As I've said before, The Sims it's my true love. It really is my true love. But it's not something that I can only play by itself, because if I play The Sims too much, it's not that I get bored of it really, I just feel less and less creative when it comes to building and when it comes to creating stories for families that I play in my spare time. And I just find that I love The Sims 4 even more when I incorporate other games into my life. And also, I just love opening new games because it's like opening a gift. And that's why, from the beginning, I knew I wanted to have mostly Sims 4 content, but I wanted to throw in a few other things just to mix it up a bit. But anyway, regarding my goals for the non-Sims 4 content, I mean, it's a pretty simple goal. I just want to finish the series that I start. Obviously, I don't want to keep playing a game that I'm really not enjoying, but there have been times in the past where I really have been enjoying a game, but for some reason or another, I just don't end up finishing it on my channel. And sometimes I do go and finish the game in real life, but I don't know why that happens. I don't know why sometimes I can't seem to finish a game even if I really am enjoying it. So yeah, that is one of the non-Sims related goals. I want to finish the non-Sims series that I start. And the other one is I want to start playing more demos, because I think that demos are a great thing for you all to see, because you can get a taste of a new game that maybe you might be interested in playing, but you could do it without me spoiling the whole game for you. And also, demos are usually released way before the actual release date for the game, so you can maybe hear about a game that you are really gonna end up anticipating. So yeah, demos are something that I would like to do more on my channel. So I think that that's it for my 2019 channel goals. Anyway, I am now working on the kitchen of this build. So I end up going with, I think, the orange and white swatch for these kitchen cabinets. And I really was tempted to use the yellow swatch because I don't think I've ever used the yellow swatch before. I have used the orange swatch, but I don't know. The yellow swatch, I just wasn't quite feeling it. So for the kitchen, I decided to go with an orange theme, but with yellow accents, which was pretty similar to what was going on in the family room, kind of similar to what was going on in the dining room. And yeah, I tried to think a lot about coordinating the colors from room to room, if that makes any sense. So I decided to, make the color schemes in each room harmonious. I tried to go with a slightly different color scheme in each room, but yeah, I wanted them to all seem cohesive. What else is there to say about this kitchen? Not a whole lot, honestly. On the opposite wall, the wall opposite the fridge and the stove, I end up putting a washer and a dryer and a little laundry area. There are a lot of laundry items in this build. There is a washer and dryer, but as you saw earlier, there's also a clothesline out in the back. I didn't show you any part of the bathrooms, but they look pretty cute. I don't know. I don't like including bathrooms in my speed builds because one, bathrooms are the most boring room to furnish, and 2, I usually end up just getting kind of lazy and furnishing the bathrooms in exactly the same way, and 3, because the bathrooms are a pretty small space, sometimes it's hard to actually like get the camera in there to see what's going on, and I feel like it's not fun for you to watch because I have to move the camera around in weird ways. But anyway, the bathrooms in this build, they do look almost exactly the same, the 2 bathrooms, but they are really cute because I used a lot of stuff from Get Famous. You can see the bathroom in the corner where I used the sink from Get Famous that we got, the mid-century modern sink. And in the bathroom on the other side of the house, I actually used the tub that we got with Get Famous, which is a gorgeous tub with a lot of awesome, colorful swatches. And yeah, they have like a pretty cool turquoise and purple theme, which I like a lot. But anyway, we're about to come up on the screenshots for this build, so I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope that you are looking forward to the new year as much as I am. I hope that you're looking forward to the things that you're gonna be seeing on my channel in this next year. And yeah, I just want to thank you all so much for watching because it really does mean a whole lot to me. We actually hit 100 subscribers recently, and I am gonna be making a video about that soon, but yeah, I just want to say thank you all and let you all know how much I appreciate you because you guys are honestly the best. You really are. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, as I've already said a bunch of times, and I will talk to you in another video very soon. Goodbye!